Thanks, Keith, for sitting down with us. We're going to talk with Keith from ProModel today. ProModel has been a tight partner with Autodesk for about the past year, but even before that, we have a long, rich history with ProModel. They've been building products on AutoCAD, on Inventor, on factory design utilities, and we're going to do a little deeper dive into what makes this partnership so successful and what exactly ProModel does and how customers and users can benefit from this partnership. Why don't you just do a quick introduction of yourself and ProModel, and then we can start the conversation from there.
I've been working with the company for about 20 years. Prior to that, I had my own company called Simtech Simulation Technology, which was actually a representative for ProModel. So I've been involved in modeling and simulation for over 30 years now. And we at ProModel basically provide predictive analytic discrete event modeling solutions for our customers that use it for primarily process analysis, modeling, layouts, facility layouts, and things like that. So the tools that we provide are all around process improvement and using very specific technology, specifically discrete event simulation, to help them make better decisions faster.
And when you talk about process improvement and discrete event simulation, kind of if someone's not super familiar with that terminology, what exactly are you helping these customers do?
Let's take a manufacturing facility. What they're able to do in our software is build the virtual facility inside the computer. So the objective is to be able to replicate that process, if you digital twin, if you will, in the computer so that they can run it over time and then understand how that process will perform. And then once they understand how that process will perform, they can then look at opportunities to improve it.
And what makes ProModel so good at this? What is there a secret sauce, or what's your value proposition to your customer base?
I guess what makes us unique is we've been doing this for a long time. So 30 plus years. We work really closely. We have SMEs that work very closely with our customers to understand, no kidding, what are the real pains they have? What are the real issues they're trying to solve, so that we continue to build that capability into our software.
Now, how come Autodesk specifically? We formed a partnership about a year ago. It's been very successful. What's kind of the better together story in your mind between ProModel and Autodesk?
From day one, whenever we worked with, companies that are doing factory modeling or factory, simulation, typically, I would say 95+% of the time, they're using some type of a CAD layout. And usually that's AutoCAD or the Autodesk products. So what we've done for years is to take these drawings, these DWGs or whatever, and import them into our software, then use it as just as a backdrop and lay models over the top of it. Set up the inputs, the demand on the system, run it over time, view results, and then say, okay, well, if I want to make changes, I can either do it on top of that back layout, or I'm just kind of moving things around, adding machines, doing whatever. But it's independent and it's in a separate system, and it's not directly connected back to the Autodesk or AutoCAD platform.
Is that like a known gap when you go talk to customers where they want to see this?
Absolutely. In fact, over the years, I would say in the early days when we came out with the first version of our software back in the late 80s and 90s, simulation was kind of unique. Modeling a facility or a process was extremely painful. So, you had a programmer writing in a Fortran-like language, and it would take, weeks or months. And then if they wanted animation, they'd throw it over the wall to an animator. They'd use some type of an animation tool to tie an animator to it. This would all be loaded on servers. So very expensive, very time consuming. The market has matured such to the point where in the early days, our vision and our founder's vision was, hey, I need to provide a tool that they can run on a basic computer, back then an XT computer, an AT computer, and make it easy enough so the industrial manufacturing type engineer could use it.
And then who are these people you're talking to? Are they kind of process engineers? Are they operations directors?
You have what we call the consumers, and the consumers are typically, I want to call them the operations managers, the plant manager, all the way up to C-level, where they're trying to make big decisions. Do we build a new line? Do we build a new facility? And then you have kind of the analysts, which traditionally for the simulation piece, the analysts are industrial manufacturing engineers, operations research people that are looking at the process, and their job is to make those processes run and run smoothly. Now, traditionally in the past, you had two sides of the house that didn't necessarily always talk to each other. And I think that's the other advantage of working with the Autodesk and the Autodesk platform. You had the architects and the designers, and then you had the industrial manufacturing engineers, which they were just concerned about the process. Now we're bringing those two worlds together by interfacing these tools and integrating these two tools. So it becomes a more team collaborative approach to design of the facility and making sure that we're getting it right the first time. And the ROI is typically dramatic. You can imagine when people are doing layouts, it's very expensive to buy equipment, change things around the floor, downtime on productions, whatever it may be. So the ROI is typically very easy to achieve. And that's why usually most organizations that start using this type of technology, from the top down, they're saying, okay, so we're going to continue using this because we see the ROI and it's dramatic.
It's really about, hey, let's help you optimize your factory, and it's going to, make your customers happier. And that will in turn be a output that will lead to better business opportunities for you.
When you work closely with the customers to understand their pain and understand the opportunity to alleviate that pain, that's successful. And the proof's in the pudding, where if they go out and actually use these tools to solve real problems, it spreads. And by word of mouth and by reputation of successful programs and projects.
Is there anything else you want to mention, or anything you think we missed that you want to kind of add in there about the partnership, or about workflows, industry, ProModel?
Well, we're very excited about participating in AU, and we have a virtual booth, and looking forward to interfacing with both the Autodesk employees as well as future potential customers and prospects. We have a class involved in that where we'll be actually going over the products and the integration with the Autodesk platforms, talking a little bit about the future. We have a lot of supporting materials. Another nice thing in working with you guys is your store, so your app store, where we actually have our ProModel and our Process Simulator, which are basically our two Autodesk editions of tools, and they're both up on the Autodesk App Store for free evaluations.
Nice. So a myriad of places to find you. Autodesk, we have a class at Autodesk University. There's a booth. You're a sponsor. We thank you for that. Go to the Autodesk App Store, download the ProModel, try it out. And then if you have further questions, there's an email address to contact us, mfgpartnerships@autodesk.com. So that's all things manufacturing partnerships. If you're interested in connecting with ProModel, or you just have other questions, please email us. But Keith, I appreciate the time. It's been great, as always, talking to you, and I look forward to continued success in 2021.
Yes, thank you, Casey.